Have you ever wondered how single people, people in relationships, or even people that are married, how they go about life, what makes up their daily lives, and what makes each one of those unique? Well, this is the show that will give you a bit more insight on each one of those, and this is the Love Corner. So, how long have you guys been together? How long have you maybe been dating, and how many years have you, years or days or months? How many years have you been married?
We've been together for how many years?
We started going out 2015, 27th of March.
Wow.
It was around 8 o'clock
8 o'clock.
in the evening.
I like that, down to the details.
Best day of my life.
I think the only man knows when he started dating his girlfriend.
No, I really wanted this woman. I really liked her so much. So yeah.
So it's been how many years? Six.
So we
years.
dated from March 2017, right?
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2015, 16. Yeah, so we dated for 2 years plus. 2 years, 8 months, if to be accurate. 2 years, 8 months, somewhere there. And then we got married, and then we've been married for 3 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I hear apparently people change friends after marriage.
Oh, okay.
This is word on the street, right? Is that true in your case? Even if it's not with you guys, with people around you, have you seen this to be true? And if so, why do you think it happens?
Well, with me, it's difficult to answer because I grew up in Lesotho. Lived my whole life there until varsity when I met him. So when we got married, I moved from Lesotho and stayed in South Africa. So because I was so far from the people that I used to be close with, then the relationships started to deteriorate.
Yeah.
So in my case, I don't know if it's because I got married. I think it's maybe because of distance. Yeah. But from his case, I can't really say he changed friends. The only thing that happened is that I joined in the friendships, and the friendships that were not, for example, the people that the ladies that were his friends, but liked him in the background. When we finally got married, obviously, they showed their true colors and drifted away because when I moved I joined and became like, if he had one friend, then that friend now gains me as a friend. So if we have a lot of some of the one or two or three ladies like that who are now my friends, that were his friends, but the ones that wanted him, obviously,
they missed out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, but
so it does happen. It does happen. But it's just that you also see you like it's like a thing that happens. Sometimes it's the fake friends move away, and seething that happens. The fake friends move away, and you also gain new friends, new married friends. But I think we struggled to get a couple friends. Like, we wanted to get couple friends because we obviously got married very young. So, but we kept our friends. Most of our friends are still here.
Yeah, we did keep a lot of friends. Look, I believe the ones that are not friends, it's one, the reason that you mentioned is because, well, they like either one of us. And two, the other ones, it's due to life changes in life. We start working, others start working far and stuff like that, and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think that's what it is. But we kept most of our friends because my best man is still my best friend. And most of those people who were in our wedding, our bridesmaids,
Obviously
and the ones
not
who
married.
couldn't make and the ones who couldn't make it, they are still our friends, So it's a choice. But I don't think it's so much of a negative thing to when you get married, you get new friends. It just depends. It depends. It depends on the school of thought. The mindset that your friends come from. If you definitely know these are family records and stuff, if you came out from that kind of a life, these are the people who wouldn't mind dating a married person, then why should you, as a lady, want that kind of a person around your husband? That's disrespect before she says anything at all, So I think that's why other people, is because they know their friends. Maybe that's why they're like, hey, we're not your
I'm changing friends.
I don't want you next to my man.
Okay. That's interesting.
So,
I always try to find out what the reason is behind this whole thing, because I'm not married. I do have friends that are married, and I have not lost my friends, but certainly the relationships have been altered in one way or the other. And now hearing other people, like through having other conversations with other people, hearing that people complain a lot about this, that, oh, now she's married or now he's married, and now they've got new friends and they've forgotten about, basically they've put their past lives behind them, and now they're moving forward with new people. I've always wanted to understand, and I always try to get different views on why it actually happens, because like you said, if it's fake people, then it makes sense why they would then drift, and because they will show their true colors at that point in time. But if there are people that genuinely care and love you as a person and value your friendship, then I don't see why it should change anything. But hey, it's life. Okay.
Oh, I wanted to add one more thing and say that sometimes it's a lot of work, especially with a child. So when you get married, honestly, you rarely have time for anything. So it's not as easy to have a girls' night out when you're married, So some of the relationships, I lost some of the relationships through that, because I felt like I'm always busy or I don't have time, because we meet once in a while, and not because I don't want to, but because honestly, it's hectic sometimes. So I guess it's about also having friends that understand that when she's busy, she's really busy. Because I'll say, love, I want to go out with my girls and stuff. He will allow every now and then, but most of the time he wants to. There's a lot of, he wants to spend time together. Sometimes there are relatives involved, new relatives involved. Like there's just a whole lot. So I guess also our single people also need to understand where their married friends are coming from, and not maybe you get an excuse. Maybe you take as this thing out, I'm busy as an excuse. Sometimes it's really hectic. It's really that bad. Yeah.
It's okay, and I think it's acceptable because life does happen. But in listening to what you said, I just started wondering if you, as the married friend, explained. You don't really owe anybody an explanation, but sometimes there's only, like, you can't expect people to understand things that you're not saying. And naturally, without proper communication, relationships do drift, whether it's friendship or romantic relationships, or even family relationships. Lack of communication, because now you're going to be on the other side making your own assumptions, and now the other partner will be on the other side making their own assumptions. But that's life, I guess. And we always talk about first impressions last. Would you like to take us through your first impression of your husband, and Neo, first impressions of your wife?
Yeah.
It looks like an interesting.
Well, he said he first saw me.
Talk about your first impression of me.
The first time I saw him or I recognized him was in a rehearsal of, let me just say, a church or in a church organization, a student Christian organization, but it was our church. Yeah, it was our church. We're having rehearsals, and he was the only, I think he was the only one with a tablet then. He was very cheesy, yeah. So I just thought he was this cheesy guy that was, out of my league. Speaking English.
You never brought the tablet thing. It's the first time.
Now you find out all these things.
He's busy with BlackBerry. We're busy with BlackBerry's phones, funny phones, and now he has a tablet, laptop, and a proper phone. And he's just sitting in a cheesy way, and he speaks like proper, like speaking English all the time. And he sings very well, like heavens down when he sings. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy is out of my league. And I liked him. And then when I had my first conversation with him, literally, I ran to my friend and I was like, I think I found the one, literally. And he was like, really? And it was the first time I saw that. I said that to some, and I don't even know why, but there was just sure thing about him that I was like, no, I think I found the one. But I honestly think he was out of my league. He was too cheesy and looked like a play.
Well, I'm not cheesy.
He's not cheesy. He's definitely not out of my league.
No. The thing is, I don't know. She came from somewhere else where she had never seen a tablet. It was not my fault that I owned one. I needed one to make it through my studies.
Yeah, when others are using books, he was using a tablet.
No, actually, it was a smart thing. Just the backstory on that. I didn't have enough money for textbooks. We had a lot of textbooks. I didn't have enough money, but we had soft copies. And, during my final semester, we're doing a lot of open books.
Yeah.
So I could get a tablet. Although they were new and stuff. I mean, it was funny. Like, even lecturers were like, we have to revise our policy on that. We're not sure if you should come. So, but it was easy because I had the tablet. I had all my textbooks. Okay. I would go with the tablet to campus. Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah, no, but you're not cheesy. You're not out of my league now.
Definitely not out of me.
But the first time, that's what you thought.
You look like he had a lot of money and he didn't.
Who said I didn't? I had a tablet. You just said I had a phone. I had a laptop.
Yeah, not money. Just those things. Yeah.
You buy them with money.
Yeah.
Expensive stuff. Tablets were new.
Okay.
And mine was a note you could write on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about you.
Oh, well, my first impressions was she came for auditions. So basically I would say it's that my last 6 months on campus. So she came to audition at SEO. And I was the previous musical director, HOD, the head of the Department of Music. Yeah. So she came, and my friend who was the musical director was not around. So he asked me to fill in for him since I've been there before. And then we organized the auditions. She came through. I mean, a lot of people had sung very beautifully that day. And then she came and she sang. And like I was playing the guitar and singing and backing. I was at the corner.
I don't remember you.
You were nervous. That's the thing.
Yes.
I'm telling you, she sang. And I'm like, my heart, I don't know what. I just felt God when she sang. And she was nervous. And she sounded beautiful and all of that. And I was drawn to that. But I could tell there's something shifted. I don't know why. Because I was in a covenant, a stage of with God where I said, I'm not dating and stuff. Because dating had been messy for me. And friendships had been messy for me as well. So I decided I'm taking a break. God, I just want to serve you. And even as I go to the corporate world, I just want to focus on you and stuff. If I meet someone, I'll meet someone someday. But my plan was to just serve God. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then this young girl came, she sang, and my heart was doing the things I needed to be done. And honestly, I But since every guy in the room was screaming, every guy was going crazy, bananas and nuts when she left over this gap, this Lesotho gap, woman, girl with a gap. So when she left the room, they asked me, like, everyone is going crazy, and they're like, "You're not going crazy. Are we not musical enough? Did she lose it or what? Because we think she's great." I'm like, no. She's great. I would love her as well as part of the worship team, and stuff. And they're like, oh, good, but you don't look like. I'm like, no, it's good. Time, guys, get the next person in. But my heart is feeling like, who's that girl? So that was
you
my
were playing
first
it cool.
Of her. Yeah, no, like really dialing it very, very low because I was thinking, covenant. Men of God, melody. So yeah, that was my first impressions of this young lady, and well, it just continued as we met through rehearsals, and we became friends as well. And then I discovered she's more into the word and stuff, and yeah, we started exchanging prophecies and stuff about each other. And then I'm telling you, by then I was heels over head, if a guy's allowed to be.
Yeah,
that's great. It's interesting, in some situations you find that the one party sort of like the first time they met, and the other one didn't notice the other one, so to see that
should I tell on you? I want to tell on her.
Okay.
I talked to her, so I'm going to tell on him. I proposed the first time and she said no. Can you imagine? She liked me, but she said no.
So this is...
I didn't say no.
What happened?
She said no.
I didn't say no. I said I'm not ready. And then I dated another guy.
Why date another guy if you're not ready?
So it happened. It was so messy.
Okay, it's a story for her. But
yeah.
But she said no to me. That's it.
I said no.
Now the whole world knows.
And then I dated another guy, the wrong guy. And then dumped the guy. And then went back to him. And then we got married. And she begged me. She begged. And I didn't beg.
And I'm like,
I didn't beg. Like,
let me see.
You were actually grateful that I came.
I was lost, honestly. I couldn't see anyone, even the church where I was going. The pastors used to love pushing girls, and the leadership to you and stuff like that. I never felt any of that. I was just missing this one. So the day she texted me, I literally jumped off my bed. I'm like, hey, she's back.
That is very crazy. Yeah. So describe your partner in one word. Just one. Not a sentence.
Good.
One word.
Good.
OCD.
Good or bad.
Whatever you feel is appropriate. If anybody didn't know who your husband is and they just wanted to get an understanding of who they are, which word would best describe him?
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay.
Man of excellence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still thinking, Since I'm trying to no, I have a lot actually. So I'm trying to sum up. The summary should be. I don't want to say beautiful because whoever doesn't see that this is the definition of beautiful is blind. So
she is beautiful indeed.
Oh yeah, my first nickname that I gave her, crazy.
You think I'm crazy? Okay.
You don't know
I'm sure that's
crazy.
a good crazy, not a
it's
bad
not
one.
Normal. Like, okay, my wife is fun. If I were to use one word, fun. Everything is an adventure with her. So she's a fun person to be married to. Relationship with God, everything is fun. And we joke about everything. She finds fun in everything that we do. We can be in prayer and there might be something that becomes a joke out of that as well.
You laugh at my tongues. Or my tongues are funny. They sound like drums, like I'm playing drums, and we're having prayer time at that time. Like we're serious.
But it's true. She's my partner. I need to be open. And the first time we prayed together, right? We're praying before our wedding. We're praying together, and then she's praying, and then my friend is there as well, and she starts sounding like tuku, 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 ta. I'm like, no, but that sounds like kuta, tuku, 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 tash, kuta. And she's like tuku, 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 tuku. I'm like, what?
Wow.
That is really crazy. Do you, because we are Christian and we go through premarital counseling, right? Well, anyway, that is a standard. Do you think it's important, and why is it important to go through premarital counseling before getting into marriage?
I think it is. I think it's very, very important. You know, with the things we have heard, we had from our counselor, we thought, us having what? Fighting over money. Oh, please. She knows money doesn't rule my heart. I give money like nobody's business. She doesn't care about money. And the bomb dropped and we started fighting about money.
Yeah.
To a point where she would say, baby, I want to buy. I'm like, yeah. I don't want to win this. Whoa.
Yeah, I think premarital counseling is definitely important.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's important to do it. Don't do it right before the wedding, because you forget everything, because you're so excited and you're thinking about your wedding dress. I don't think that there's really a lot that I remember from my premarital counseling, because I was so caught up in the wedding dress, it's not yet ready, the venue, this and this and this. I really wish that I did my premarital counseling while we were still just after paying Robola. I really wish at that time my mind would have gotten enough time to digest the information.
Yeah.
So it's very important. I think you also have to be very wise about the timing, so that the information and the stuff that's being said is able to stay in your mind. Because you're definitely gonna need it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what would you tell any Christian singles that are looking to get into relationships or ultimately get married?
Yeah, I would say that what you're looking for exists. You know, don't settle. At the same time, I'll say don't a lot of Christians, we have twisted our priorities. A lot of us want a guy with money and a car and whatever, but we don't look at the person's principles and their relationship with God, and how they treat their family and their friends and the people around them, and their character and their personality. So as much as we're saying don't settle, what you're looking for exists. Make sure that you're not settling in the right things, because I wanted like a tall, not dark, tall, medium, whatever, complexion guy. And my husband is very much short, but I didn't settle because he has the personality and the characteristics that I needed for marriage. So when we're saying don't settle, we're not saying that don't twist your priorities. We're not talking about looks. Of course, get married to someone you're attracted to.
Yes.
But don't prioritize, so that your priorities are in order, so that you don't get hurt. Yeah.
I think it's the order of priorities for me, honestly, like she said, you know, it needs to be, for me, like I've met a lot of people and, you know, tried collecting data, you know, to see if this person can be, you know, because of course we start from the look side of things. You're attracted to a person And then, you try collect information by talking to them, having small conversations and all those kind of things. And yeah, it's important to go through that stage, very important. Because, you find a lady who preaches or who seems very well anointed. And then when you start collecting data, only to find out, oh, so that's just a front, that's a facade. So they can just sing. There's no God in them. Or this person can preach, but there's no practicality. They don't live what they preach at all. And they're far from it and stuff. And that was a deal breaker for me, for most of them, and stuff, because it was very important for someone sold out for God. As much as I am someone who would literally hear God, who hears God, and someone who like literally go wherever God tells them to go. It was very, very important. So for me, of course, I would say looks is what draws me to a person and draws everybody to a person. It's important that you like the way they look, because you're going to get challenges and temptations from outside. But you need to be pleased with this. This needs to help you, from that as well. And God, of course, sits at the top of that chain. And then God fearing, God loving, and all those things. And then the rest boils down to character. Honestly, it's character. Character is everything. Because when you go on dates, when you do your data taking or whatever collection, when you're in that stage, it's all about trying to find out the character of a person, the unfiltered one. And believe me, still a lot of it will come out filtered, because this person is trying to portray and project something perfect. They'll borrow clothes from their friends to go on a date to try to look perfect. Stuff, they will moisturize themselves, shave, even if they don't shave, just to look very decent and all of that. But that doesn't matter, as long as you get, what more do you need? If a person is God-fearing and has a good character, stuff that I want. They might change, the rest might be off, but if they're God-fearing, she's not my problem. This is our principle in our marriage. If this one gives me trouble, she's not my problem. I sit down with God and say, God, that one, like seriously, watch that one. Like seriously, I'm gonna lose. Watch your child. And then before you know it, she sits down with me and let's say, babe, God spoke with me 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and stuff. Same thing happens with me as well. And I'll go and say, babe, I'm sorry. Yesterday I didn't realize that I said this and that was hurtful. Are you fine? She's like, no, it was hurtful, but I decided to take it up with God. I'm like, yeah, no wonder this morning when I was having my devotion or when I was driving to work, God was talking about that. Stuff. So that's why the order is very, very important.
And in dating, I can say a lot of Christians, and we don't talk about it because sometimes they're the most hypocrites. So I can say to a single person who is dating that date, do the work, ask the questions, and don't allow yourself to be emotionally attached, in the sense that a lot of Christians are practicing sex before marriage. It's happening. It's the truth. And you find that you are now tied to a person and you're in love with this person. You don't even know who they are, who their uncle or their relatives are. You don't know how much money they make and what they believe in. You just find yourself glued to this person because you allowed emotions before information. So dating is work. So before you get involved, you want to get involved romantically with a person, I would say do the work. Go on dates. Don't just go there, be eating meat. Ask questions, ladies. Don't be there busy with the
absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, ask the questions. Like when we come, most of the time when we come back from dates, you don't even know like what really happened. I don't remember most of the movies that we watched when we went out on dates. But I knew that time that because I ditched him. I knew that he was not very sure about me, didn't trust me that much. So I was able to see such things because I didn't, sometimes you were paying too much attention to the movie and the food and how you looked and the pictures on Instagram, but you did not get the information.
Yeah.
Information is power.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's right, by the way. But yeah, she was eating meat this one. She doesn't remember it. So take it from someone who didn't collect the information.
No, like I did collect the information, but I was myself because I finished the food. I did not pretend to be a person who doesn't like food, you know.
That meat.
I was myself.
You butchered that meat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're closing. Is there any additional thing that you would like to let people know before we close?
Yeah, I'm done from my side. Love you guys.
We love you. But here's the thing. The truth is, it's either you go after God or you go after things, materials, listed things, and all of that.
Yeah.
It's funny, scripture says you cannot serve God and mammon. Usually, this is a beautiful scripture for that moment where you talk about money and stuff. But mammon is not only money, you know, it's excessive living. The fancy cars, the bling life, relationship goals, smashing t-shirts, you know, and stuff like that. All those things are fake. All those things come and go and stuff. But if you're after God, if you're after the real thing, then you will go all the way and literally try to find out what God really has for you.
Yeah.
You know? We're working on a series called Before the Hour. We're talking about singleness, you know, and that singleness, number one misconception is that singleness is inferior to marriage. That's not true. It's a season of its own. It has a goal of its own and stuff.
Yeah.
So enjoy this stage of being single or the stage of looking for a partner, but don't be too desperate. Don't be desperate, you know, and stuff. I feel like that's what's causing so much divorce and everything. And put God first and let principles be principles. One thing that made me attracted to this woman dating her is that principles were principles. You know, we spoke about it, that dude, no more stealing before the big day, because I mean, I'll have to account before God and stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is, honestly, we like literally that for me is the one thing and stuff. You know, it's easy to see these days. If you just say, I like you, want to get into a relationship with you, but no sex. You know how many people will walk away?
Yeah.
And the ones that will stay, 80% of them are thinking, no, we'll change your mind or change his mind, you know, and stuff. The moment they realize you're unwavering in that, they're out of the door. That's it. Or they have you, but they're cheating. You can tell they're not emotionally present, available anymore and stuff, because they're cheating and all of those kind of things. So let principles be principles, and let's allow God to literally take us through an adventure of the lost mystery of what love is.
What a powerful way to end this season. And thank you so much for coming and for giving us insight, because I think there's so much just from this episode that we've learned, and I really do hope to talk more with you guys in the future. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us. We'll be looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.